Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
We're following several breaking news stories this noon. Mixed verdict. A jury acquits Sean Diddy Combs of 3 of 5 charges. We'll look at the sentencing he faces.
And heavy rain is popping up in parts of the viewing area. I'll show you how heavy the rain will get and how much you could see.
Breaking news. A part of a plane lands in the driveway of a home near Wade Avenue in Raleigh. We are live with brand new information from the FAA.
Our next weather maker is a cold front crossing our area right now, and that rain will be heavy at times this afternoon. Good afternoon to you. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Thanks for joining us. We're seeing some of that rain right now. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a look at our potential for flooding.
We'll start with a look at Dual Doppler 5000 radar. See all these red shaded areas? They're fairly small, but that's where the rain is intense. And in this case, we're going to see this cold front sweeping through, and almost everybody will see some rain. Some places will see heavier than other potential there, but we also have some lightning. Right now, the lightning is fairly patchy, but we're definitely seeing a lot of spots where we have the heavy rain that's falling. And so that heavy rain could cause flooding in some places, or especially in our eastern counties, we're looking at a better chance of seeing it there. You can see right here, inside the Beltline, now moving sort of toward East Raleigh, a very heavy band of rain there. Some heavy rain up toward Wake Forest and Rollsville, and then down to the south as well. So a lot of patches of heavy rain across our area, and some heavy rain in Sanford and Vass with a lot of lightning associated with it. Some heavy showers there in Anger and Lillington. So a good chunk of the viewing area seeing some heavy rain. We have Heidi Kirk who is out in the storm tracker. She's headed back toward that heavier band of rain. Heidi, how's it looking where you are?
Well, Elizabeth, we're out on Wade Avenue as you speak, heading toward downtown Raleigh. I'm going to flip the camera around and show you what we're seeing right now. Now, we've seen some pretty heavy rains of bands in about the last 15 or 20 minutes. Right now, you'll see kind of a drizzle coming down. And I have to mention, the roads are pretty busy out here. Now, AAA says that this is going to be the busiest travel day for road travel ahead of the holiday. So as we're driving around, monitoring some of the road conditions, it's important to note that there's a lot of people out here. Now, right now, we've got our windshield wipers on. We tend to go a little bit under the speed limit when we see some of that rain coming down. We're going to continue driving all around the triangle today and monitoring these road conditions as well as some of that travel ahead of the holiday. Elizabeth?
Yeah, it does look really messy out there on Wade Avenue. Here's the cold front. That cold front is just starting to push into our viewing area. And right now, all of those cells are out ahead of it. Once that front pushes through, we'll start to see the rain tapering off. You can see here a 70% chance. Now it tapers off to about a 60 and then a 40% chance as we get into, say, 6 or 7 o'clock. So hopefully it'll be a little bit drier for the evening commute. We're going to walk through it on Futurecast in just a few minutes.
A mixed verdict today in the Sean Combs federal trial. After deliberating for 13 hours over 3 days, jurors acquitted the rap mogul of 3 of the most serious charges. They found him guilty of the 2 lesser crimes. Right now, court is adjourned there while the judge decides whether to release him on bail until sentencing. Chloe Milas reports outside the courthouse.
The verdict is in and it is split. Count 1, not guilty on RICO conspiracy. Count 2, not guilty on sex trafficking as it pertains to Cassie Ventura. Count 3, guilty as it pertains to Cassie Ventura for the transportation to engage in prostitution. Count 4, not guilty, sex trafficking as it pertains to Jane. Count 5, guilty, transportation to engage in prostitution as it pertains to Jane. This is a stunning legal victory for Combs's legal team. It is a massive blow to New York prosecutors who had this trial over the last 7 weeks and brought 34 witnesses. When the verdict was read, Combs got on his knees and he did a prayer sign. He began to pray and he did the symbol of prayer signs to the jurors. His family began to clap. And just moments ago, we saw his family and his mother leave. Now, here's the thing. He could actually be released from prison today. This is an argument that's going on right now between New York prosecutors and Combs's legal team, and the judge is set to make a decision sometime today.
You're looking live at Lewisburg, and you can see the cloudy skies there. The roads look dry, but their turn for rain will likely come as we're going to have showers move in through the afternoon hours. You're watching WRAL News, available on Spectrum and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device.
In about an hour, we could learn whether there'll be a trial held in the 2022 murders of 4 Idaho students. Brian Kohberger is expected to plead guilty today as part of a deal. Under the agreement, the government will drop the death penalty, and Kohberger will drop his right to appeal. Key questions will likely linger, like why the victims were chosen, why others at the home were spared, and how did Kohberger avoid capture for weeks. The Good Samaritan who helped save a 9-year-old girl from a shark attack could be deported now.
From one side, he was a hero, and now he's a bad guy. You know, it kind of put me in shock.
Luis Alvarez and 2 other men rushed into the water to save the 9-year-old girl and her family. EMS even commended them for their efforts. But 3 days after the rescue, Alvarez was arrested for driving without headlights on, and police later determined he did not have a driver's license. Instead, Alvarez showed them a work permit, which legally authorizes him to work here in the United States. He is scheduled to appear in court a week from today.
The town of Wendell will start its 4th of July celebrations this morning with a veterans breakfast. The Star, Stripes, and Syrup event was held at Fire Station 3 in Wendell Falls to honor their service. Community Engagement Officer J.D. Singh says there's no better way to celebrate our freedom.
It gives them the time to have some fellowship and spend time with each other, share some war stories, and there's no better way to celebrate Independence Day and freedom.
It feels nice and it feels good. I'm getting familiar with the neighborhood, the people, finding out if there are other veterans in the area that I might be able to get together with.
Our freedom made possible because of those veterans, so thank you to them for their service. Later tonight, Wendell's fireworks show starts at 6 p.m. at Wendell Park. There will be food trucks and music.
A new law in Tennessee strengthens the punishment for bullying. It means minors involved in bullying or cyberbullying could lose driving privileges for a full year. The law has exceptions to allow teens with a suspended license to still be able to go to work or school or church. It restricts travel to social events or extracurricular activities. So today we're asking, should North Carolina lawmakers consider a 1-year driving ban for minors found guilty of bullying? Share your voice right now by scanning the QR code on your screen or head to WRAL.com/yourvoice, and we'll share the results before the end of this newscast.
People are used to things washing ashore at Florida's beaches. Things like seaweed, seashells, even a rare message in a bottle. But one beachgoer found a different kind of powder while enjoying the sun and sand. 25 kilograms of cocaine marked with pictures of Yosemite Sam. Deputies say the bricks are worth nearly $500,000. Investigators say that if you see a suspicious package on the beach, never touch it. Call authorities. Dust storms, flight delays, and thousands without power in parts of Las Vegas. Wild weather unleashed near hurricane-force wind gusts that toppled trees and down power lines. Dozens of power poles were also damaged by wind gusts of up to 70 miles per hour. A severe thunderstorm warning is in effect today due to the potential for more dangerous winds there in Vegas.
I didn't see any of the casinos there. Maybe that's the old Vegas area there where it happened. Yeah, I didn't see any big of the high rises, casinos and all that, but dodged it there. We're getting hit with some rain this afternoon.
We are, and I suppose that's a trade-off. We're getting somewhat cooler temperatures and that we won't even get past 90 degrees today. That's something, Elizabeth.
It is something. We should stick, right here in the mid to maybe upper 80s in a few places. But boy, the rain is coming down heavily in just pockets. There are plenty of places where we're not seeing heavy rain right now, but we'll see more and more of this as we head through the afternoon and as that front moves off to the east. So it is likely to just intensify over the next several hours before it starts to taper off closer to sunset. You can see some very heavy rain moving from Garner toward Wendell, past Wake Forest, over toward Rocky Mount. Wilson's seeing a little bit of a break right now, but Fuquay Arena is seeing some very heavy rain. We'll head down to the south. Sanford, it's really been raining heavily, and then back over into Warren County and a good bit of Harnett County as well. So here's the front. That front, again, will very slowly move across our area. The rain is likely to be heaviest in our eastern counties over the next several hours. We take a look at Futurecast, and you can see here where that rain is right now. Again, a lot of that in Wake County, and then north and east up toward Roanoke Rapids and back towards Southern Pines. But as we head through the next few hours, watch how a lot of it shifts eastward, but then may redevelop a bit by the time we get to 5 o'clock. There still could be some heavy rain in the Triangle where we tend to see some heavy traffic during the evening commute. But once we get past 7 or 8 o'clock, most of it should die off. We're looking at the potential for maybe see 2+ inches in some places. They're in yellow in our eastern counties where we have that medium risk for flooding. Elsewhere, it's a low risk, but typically places that flood easily or often where you live, just watch out for those in particular. We have some steady to heavy rain falling in Sanford right now. Temperatures 78, our dew point 74. We're down just a little bit in the Triangle now that some showers have rolled through. So it's a very muggy air mass, but again, looking at mid-80s, Raleigh and Durham, and about 87 in Fayetteville. Muggy meters should drop a little bit over the next several days. It's going to stay high today and tomorrow, but then after that, Friday and Saturday, we could get just a very small break. It's not going to be anything big, but we'll take it down one category. Once we get this front out of here, we're looking at dry conditions for Thursday. Several towns have fireworks tomorrow. Wendell has theirs tonight at 9. It should be fairly dry by that point. We're looking nice and dry Thursday. 81 Wake Forest, Garner, Smithfield, 82 in Cary, 81 in Apex, all having fireworks on Thursday night. And then Friday also looks good. 79 at around 9 o'clock, 76 on Saturday, 82 on Sunday. Not that there's more fireworks then, but it does look like it's going to be nice for whatever evening plans you may have. Checking that 7-day forecast. Again, today stays a little cooler, but once we start to dry out, the temperatures begin to climb. We're back into the mid-90s on Monday and Tuesday. And once we get past today, our next best chance of rain doesn't come until next Tuesday. We are watching the potential for a tropical system to develop well to our south. Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll take a look at the tropics and let you know if it could affect any of your beach plans.
Good to hear that our local fireworks celebrations are good to go with those dry conditions. Well, demolition underway. The Durham Housing Authority's property on East Main Street is being torn down. What's next for the authority facing money problems? That story coming up at 4.
Plus, raising rates. Parents of new teen drivers can now be charged significantly more for their auto insurance. The reason behind the change and why else you may be paying more. That's tonight at 5:30. Meantime, straight ahead this noon, scoring summer deals. WRAL's 5 on Your Side, Keely Arthur, reveals what to buy in July to save big and what to skip.
Also, Plastic-Free July, how everyone can do their part to clean up our environment.
If you need a mattress, a TV, or appliance, July may be the right time to buy. Top-rated items in nearly every category are on sale, and thanks to Amazon's Prime Day and other Christmas in July sales. 5 on Your Side's Keely Arthur has the best deals to shop for right now.
It is officially July, and get this, consumer spending is actually trending downward. That's good, save your money. But if you are in the market for a little shopping spree, Consumer Reports tracks the prices of its top-rated items all year long, and here are the ones that are on discount for July.
This month kicks off with 4th of July sales on big-ticket items like grills, mattresses, and major appliances.
Keep things cool with this top-rated fridge from LG. It earned high marks in CR's lab tests for temperature control and noise. And right now, it's more than $600 off at the Home Depot. If you're looking for a new mattress, check out this Lisa Legend Hybrid. It's on sale for under $2,000 on the company's website. CR's tests found that Lisa's combo of inner springs and foam is great for back sleepers. And there's plenty of buildup to Prime Day, which runs from July 8th to the 11th. If you're in the market for a new TV, check out this Amazon 55-inch 4K TV from its Omni series. It's QLED model with a mini LED backlight, which CR's testing has found can help boost contrast and improve black levels. If you're ready to soak up the sun this July, do not forget the sunscreen. This pricey La Roche-Posay sunscreen milk is a favorite of skincare influencers and CR's testers. And right now, it's almost $10 off at Walmart. Because what's better than saving a little green while celebrating the red, white, and blue? Keely Arthur, 5 on Your Side.
The company best known for its canned fruits and vegetables has filed for bankruptcy. Del Monte Foods is entering Chapter 11 bankruptcy and looking for a buyer. 138-year-old company blames consumers cutting back on spending and a growing shift towards spending on private labels. Del Monte says it has enough funding to remain afloat during the sale process.
Google plans to fight a $300 million jury verdict for allegedly misusing customers' cell phone data. The class action suit was filed on behalf of millions of California residents. The jury found the company liable for sending and receiving information from Android devices without permission while they weren't being used. Another group has filed a separate lawsuit bringing the same claims in 49 other states. Meta is rolling out a new feature for its Threads app. This comes 2 years after the app launched as a competitor to X. Users will only be able to send messages to people they already follow or mutuals on Instagram. The new feature is only available for people who are 18 and older.
Holiday travel begins today for the 4th of July weekend, and we are keeping an eye on road conditions ahead of the weekend. What experts suggest you should do to avoid traffic delays?
A split verdict. After days of deliberations, a verdict was announced in the trial of Sean Diddy Combs. New details on which Combs the jury says he's guilty of. First, here's a look at the winning lottery numbers.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Our next weather maker is a cold front crossing our area right now. Rain will be heavy at times this afternoon.
So we have team coverage of the roads and the weather. You can see what's happening right behind us here. It looks horrible out there. We begin with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a look at the rain timeline and the flood threat, too.
We do have a lot of coverage on Dual Doppler 5000 radar right now, especially south and east of I-85, right around the triangle, especially eastern Wake County, and then down to the south here in Harnett County. And boy, you see this just to the north and west of Fayetteville. I'm going to show you the camera from down there. There hasn't been a whole lot of rain in Fayetteville, but boy, there's a very menacing cloud heading that way. There's also some lightning, especially around Sanford and the southern part of Wake County and Harnett County, also over a little farther to the east. And as we get through the afternoon, more and more of this will be focused in our eastern counties. The rain is coming down heavily at times. You can see from Garner north and east over toward Wendell, some very heavy rain up around Wake Forest. And again, all of that's pushing eastward. Around Apex, there's still some light rain, but a lot of this that's back to the west is showing up a little bit lighter now. We head down to the south again from Bass to Sanford. It's pretty heavy, and then down toward Fayetteville as well. So we do have Heidi Kirk out in the storm tracker right now, and she is actually headed off to the east toward I-40 where some of that rain is a little heavier. She's been trying to chase it, and I tell you, Heidi, these bands are moving really fast.
Elizabeth, that's right, and we've seen pretty consistent rain here for about the last 45 minutes or so. I'm going to show you where we are on the roads right now. We're right outside Garner as we speak, and as you can see, we've got the windshield wipers on. There's been some consistent rain and some bands coming through that have been a little bit heavier, so we're going under the speed limit, making sure we're watching the roads, making sure that there's no pooling out on the side. And it's important to note, AAA says this will be the busiest day of road travel ahead of that holiday. They're expecting lots of drivers out on the road, and we've actually seen that out on some of the highways. Lots of traffic. We actually passed by one accident within the last 15 minutes or so, and they say the heaviest traffic is going to be between noon and 9 p.m. tonight. So if you're headed out on the roads, you might want to be aware that there's a little bit of weather coming through. We're going to continue monitoring all of the conditions around our area and bringing you live updates in our later shows. Back to you.
Thanks, Heidi. We appreciate it. Do be careful out there because in some places that rain is definitely coming down heavily. The front is still to our west, and so it's going to take a few hours to push through, and it will continue to push that rain off to the east. Notice that once we get past 2 or 3, it begins to taper off some. At 5 o'clock, it's a 40% chance, and at 9 o'clock, it really does start to taper off, and I know Wendell has its fireworks display for tonight. Look at this. We're looking over the baseball field here in Fayetteville, and you can see that very dark cloud. Not a lot of rain right right there in town, but boy, there's a lot of heavy in pockets across our area. 78 is the temperature right now, dew point 74, and our temperatures will hold most likely in the mid-80s for the bulk of the rest of the day. Coming up, we're going to talk a little bit more about what's happening in the tropics and our beach forecast.
There's a mixed verdict in the federal criminal trial of Sean Diddy Combs. The jury was made up of 8 men and 4 women, and they acquitted him of the most serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. Combs was convicted of the 2 lesser charges of transportation of former girlfriends for prostitution. The judge has not decided if Combs will be released pending sentencing.
And Jeff, with all of that, here's what comes next. From here, the defense and the prosecution will submit to the court what they believe is an appropriate sentence for Combs. NBC News reporting that Combs' team will likely ask for no more jail time, while the prosecution is likely to ask closer to the maximum recommendation. From there, a probation department will review that case, and then they will make that recommendation. Now, Doug Wigdor, the attorney representing Cassie Ventura, told reporters outside the courthouse his team is pleased with the outcome, and Combs has finally been held accountable. Take a listen.
Cassie prompted this investigation by the Southern District, and now Sean Combs stands before the court as a convicted felon of 2 federal crimes. He faces significant incarceration. Not the exact outcome that we wanted, but we are grateful to the jury for finding a guilty verdict on those 2 federal crimes.
And again, the judge will decide if he will free Diddy on bail. As soon as we hear of that or anything else in this case, we'll report it from the Live Center. The town of Wendell's fireworks celebration is today. It will be held at Wendell Park. The event will start at 6 p.m. and fireworks will kick off at 9 p.m. There will be nearly 24 food trucks and music for everyone to enjoy. You're asked not to bring any personal fireworks like sparklers, coolers. Don't bring your animals. You can find more details on the town's website. Even more July 4th festivities are almost here. WRAL Out and About has a map and list of more than 24 local fireworks displays and Independence Day festivals. And that includes Raleigh, Durham, Cary, Apex, Garner, and Clayton. Just search fireworks on WRAL.com. And back here in the WRAL Live Center, an update on the Israel-Gaza war. Hamas saying they are open to a ceasefire agreement, but Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying there will be no Hamas in post-war Gaza. Both stopped short of accepting the proposal announced by President Trump yesterday. Hamas insisted on its long-standing position that any deal bring an end to the war in Gaza. Trump said on Tuesday that Israel had agreed on terms for a 60-day ceasefire, but Hamas raised questions about whether the latest offer could materialize into an actual pause in fighting. Netanyahu says he is planning to meet with President Trump next week.
The city of Raleigh is giving up on plans to widen part of Six Forks Road, and we have been reporting on this project since it first came up in 2012. Originally, the plan was to widen the road from Lynn Road to the Beltline. Leaders shrank that footprint last year to accommodate the rising costs and stay in budget. Then the cost of smaller projects swelled by more than 65% in the last year. Last night, the City Council decided to spend the money on safety improvements and design of a multimodal bridge in that area. Raleigh City Council members also approved new steps to support affordable housing and an update on the relocation of Red Hat Amphitheater. City Council shared updates on several projects in the downtown area last night. Red Hat Amphitheater is finishing its design and is expected to open in 2027. And construction on the convention center will follow the amphitheater opening, and the convention center is expected to open in 2029. The city also approved several steps to support affordable housing, including over $1 million in funding to help repair affordable apartments.
A summer resolution, how a change in habit this month can make a difference in protecting the planet.
And a lost penguin, the warm weather city where this penguin ended up and how he might have gotten there.
Keep up to date with the changing weather during the holiday weekend. Download the new WRAL weather app to plan ahead. Turn on alerts to get notified about severe weather in your location. It is free wherever you download your apps. A global initiative is helping reduce future plastic waste. It's called Plastic Free July.
Yeah, the award-winning campaign helps people change their behaviors to end plastic waste. Ted Lindner shares ways we can avoid single-use plastics.
Plastic comes in all shapes and sizes and can often end up everywhere we look.
Researchers have looked for microplastics. Plastic, as it degrades and breaks down, ends up in little bits and pieces all over the world. In the North Pole, in the South Pole, in all of us.
The Environmental Protection Agency says the percentage of plastic in the country's municipal waste jumped from 0.4% in 1960 to more than 12% in 2018. Now, tiny plastics can even end up in the things we eat and drink.
The estimate is that we eat about a credit card's worth of plastics a week in the food that we're eating, in the water that we're drinking.
To combat the growing issue of plastic pollution, the global movement, Plastic Free July, calls on consumers to avoid single-use plastics for the entire month. Environmental experts say the pledge will likely be difficult for most people, but it can help to promote better practices to improve the environment.
How do you pay a little bit of attention and start to think about behavior change? What can you do to make a difference?
Ways to prevent plastic waste in your community range from choosing metal water bottles over plastic ones to advocating for less plastic packaging at your local grocery stores.
They need to hear from people. So you can make your individual focus, but you can also then make more collective interest, right? Can you work with friends and neighbors to think about, well, what does that look like?
Environmental experts say the movement is also meant to spread awareness of the issue beyond the month of July.
Yeah, year-round would be nice. It's Ted Lindner reporting there. The initiative began as a simple challenge and has grown into a worldwide movement engaging over 100 million people in 190 customers. So well done.
Yeah. Start this month and see where it goes. Concrete Canvas, how a homeowner is using his driveway to express his patriotism.
Plus, frequent flooding. One viewer wanted to know if these weather events are becoming more frequent in our region. So he asked the meteorologist. The answer for you when we return.
An Alabama man is celebrating the 4th of July by creating a mural in his driveway. What's so special about that, you might ask? Take a look. A pressure washer serves as his brush and dirt is his palette. And voila, this 85-foot-tall Statue of Liberty is his masterpiece. He says it took 20 hours spread out over 6 days to create. Getting the proportions right took a little help from technology.
I use my drone. I could not do this without the drone, because what I will do is fly the drone above me, like right now, and actually watch myself down here, and then I can see the whole picture, and I make reference points with the sidewalk chalk.
As for what's next, the artist says once he cleans the driveway, it will take about 3 years for it to get dirty enough to make another creation.
You can make one of mine. More than 4 inches of rain fell in parts of western North Carolina, triggering flooding. Pictures and video from Facebook show that flash flooding there from Blowing Rock Road in Boone. Flooding has gotten the attention of some viewers as well. One wrote to meteorologist Chris Michaels to see if flooding is becoming more frequent. So we're answering that in today's Ask the Meteorologist.
So John Beamer asked me this question as to the frequency of flooding here in North Carolina and specifically in our area. So I looked back at the data in the past 5 years. There have been 312 reports of flooding. The 5 years prior, there was 172. The 5 years prior to that, there were 150. So yes, over the past 5 years, we've seen a lot more flooding events in our area. And this is a trend that we've been following over the past 50 years or so. Most of the country has seen an increase in higher rainfall intensity, and it's become about 21% more intense in the Triangle over the past 50 plus years, which makes sense because if you're going to warm the air up like we've seen, every rise of 1 degree Fahrenheit means a 4% increase in water vapor. The more water vapor that's available, the heavier the rain can be, especially during these summer months. In fact, just in 2020, it wound up costing the state about $674 million in damages. Now, we do have a localized flood threat today. We've got the details for you on that on our free WRAL weather app.
Chris, thank you. And look at behind us with a live look at Wilson. And you can see the winds really just making those whirly gigs working overtime right now, but no rain yet. It's coming, though.
Yeah, and it's in a lot of other areas. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now. Is that one big lightning strike over there by Greenville? What does that mean?
It
What
is
does that mean?
Giant lightning strike. Yep. I need to shrink that one. It's interesting. I think they're based on when they happen. When they first happen, they're really big, and then after they've been sitting there for a long time, they turn a little bit smaller. But a lot of rain out there. Now, north of I-85, it's really started to taper off. There's still some development up there, but from Raleigh south and east, that's where the heavy rain is happening right now. And as the front moves eastward, that's where it will continue to be, and gradually it just shifts offshore. So let's zoom in. Here, you can see that heavy rain from Wake Forest down toward Wendell, Clayton, and Garner. We're going to go back out to Heidi Kirk because she is on I-40 there. She's gotten herself into some of that heavy rain and also a backup. So she's actually on I-40 there. She's coming north or west on, I should say, on I-40, back up toward Raleigh, and she just ran into this accident. So we are likely to see much more of this as we get through the next several hours. It's probably going to be on the messy side for the evening commute, at least for the first part of the evening commute, but eventually all of this will start to slide eastward. We'll head down to the south. Sanford's getting a little bit of a break after really getting pummeled by some rain, but again, Heidi's going to be coming up I-40 here, right over here into this bit of rain as she's moving back toward Wake County. But Fuquay Varina, Andrew, seeing some very heavy rain right now. We take a look at our cold front, our next weather maker, and you can see out ahead of it is where all that rain is. And as the front continues to slide eastward, it's going to push that rain out of our viewing area. But that is going to take some time. Here's Futurecast, and you can see as we move forward how a lot of that rain is along and east of I-95 by around 3 o'clock. There could be some redevelopment in our area around 5 or 6 o'clock. And then after that, we should really see this dissipating. And then beyond, as we get into tomorrow and the weekend, even into early next week, we're looking much drier. 70% chance today, 20% chance Thursday and Sunday. And I would not change any outdoor plans for that 20% chance Thursday or Sunday. Things are really turning pretty dry. Our next weather maker is a high pressure system that builds in and keeps us dry and hot. And then we'll see a low that develops along a front, and it does have a small chance of becoming tropical. Right now it's a 40% chance, but you can see the rain associated with that is mainly offshore. There could be a few isolated showers that pop up, but with our summer-like pattern, you're going to see that if you go to the beaches anyway. Here's a look at how all this is likely to progress. Tomorrow, our cold front that's over
all the way to South Hill, Virginia. I mean, those clouds are hanging around and the rain is falling in many parts of our viewing area. As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines we're following for you today. Officials are on the scene of what appears to be an airplane part that was found in someone's driveway. This happened on Banbury Road inside the Beltline. Both police and Federal Aviation Administration officials are trying to figure out how this happened. There are no reports of injuries, damage, or crashes. We'll stay on top of this and bring you any updates during our evening news starting at 4 o'clock.
The man accused of shooting a 5-year-old girl in an act of road rage is appearing in court today for the first time. Charles Stevenson Jr. was arrested yesterday, nearly 24 hours after that shooting on US 1 in Cary. Police say the shooter had been driving aggressively. Then he fired a single shot into a pickup truck, and that shot hit the child in the leg. Stevenson is charged with assault with a deadly weapon and shooting into occupied property.
Today's expected to be the busiest day for road travel ahead of the holiday weekend. AAA estimates a record-breaking 61.6 million drivers will be on the road between now and Sunday. Right now, drivers are paying the lowest summer gas prices since 2021. That's according to AAA.
Beachgoers spotted an unusual visitor in Brazil. A Magellanic penguin was seen in the warm waters off Rio de Janeiro. These types of penguins are native to Patagonia. They typically migrate during the winter in search of food. Nature experts think the penguin likely fell off its migratory route because of potential strong sea currents. It's unclear if it found its colony, but it found a lot of beachgoers and tourists there.
I hope it found its way back. Looks like a friendly little guy. It's not unusual for flights to be delayed by weather, but a plane in Australia was grounded due to an unticketed passenger in the cargo hold. Not a big one, but a scary one. Crew members found this snake as passengers began to board the Virgin Australia flight to Brisbane at the Melbourne airport. The flight was delayed for 2 hours as the airline waited for the snake catcher to get there and capture that reptile. The catcher says the green teen snake is not venomous and suspects it somehow got into a passenger's luggage and then escaped.
That one was easy compared to usual. Usually I have to start pulling stuff apart. Everything, I found them in cars. I had to pull apart dashboards. I've had to, pull apart parts of the house, Some businesses I've had to smash through walls of offices.
Well, now the reptile cannot be returned to the wild because of quarantine reasons. It's in the care of a veterinarian.
Our pet of the day was born under a shed on a church property. Now she's looking for her forever home. Ruth is a beautiful tortoiseshell with a mix of black and orange fur. Her rear right paw is a distinctive orange. She was shy at first. She's now a total love bug who can't get enough attention. To meet this lovely lady in person, just go to the Cat Angels website, fill out an application, and someone will be in touch. NBC News Daily is next on WRAL. Your next local news update in 30 minutes.
You can always get breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app. Stay safe and dry out there. Have a great day.